Welcome back, everyone, to more Betrayal of Krondor. Alright, we finally turned in the goddamn 6-piece armor set. Hopefully there's not too many more quests like that.
I am Abuk, Master of Locks.
Oh, Abuk. I'm so tired of running into this guy. James rapped on the tavern door. When it was apparent no one was coming to open, well, it would seem the common folk of... Yeah. The brewer met them at the door. Yes? The brewer asked, his face smeared with a seedy-looking grime. I think we've already done that part. Alright, had to refigure out where to go here, because we went off on that side quest. So, what you have to do when you start Chapter 3 is first go to the tavern to get the clues, which we've done in Romney. Then we had to come here and talk to the tavern keeper, and he told us about the substance that was put in the ale. After that, you have to go search this house where he pointed us in this direction. But I took off on my subquest. The house was dark. I don't like the looks of this, Gorath said, assessing the situation. My gut tells me that as soon as we knock on that door, someone or something is going to be all over us like stink on a troll. James never had a chance to knock. Without warning, a Nighthawk charged at them from the other side of the small house, prepared to kill or be killed. Look out! Screamed James, readying himself for combat. Ambush! Yep. Oh, Jesus. It's gonna be like that. We need to start dropping them. We're gonna need Owen's help for that. Oh, he just killed his own dude. I'm sorry, that was awesome. I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice some hit points here. Oh man, laying him down to sleep. Alright, he can still hurt us. Not anymore! Oh, he's still alive. Let's see if he can even hit us now. We can kind of use him to gain our strength back. When they get down, if you can get them down to like 1 or 2 hit points, just like us, they can't hit worth a shit. All right. Alright, we just dropped 5 Nighthawks. Like a bad habit. Who has those? You do. Anti-venom, it seems like this is going to be good to have at all times. I'll be surprised if I'm actually able to click on the 4th and 5th body. There's one. Finally, some free rations. And I think that's the last one. Yeah. Alright. Go ahead and save after that. James knocked cautiously on the door. A few tense moments later, the wood began to creak and the door swung open. From the darkened room, a figure emerged and James gripped his sword tighter, prepared for any eventuality. Though Mitchell Waitlander wasn't one of his favorite people, he was a bit relieved to see his familiar fucking face. And Mitchell seemed a bit relieved to see them too.
Glad to see you.
I don't know who sent you, but I'm very thankful for your help. Let's just say that anyone on the... Did I feel like I've done this? Oh well. If I have, I didn't save. Let's just say that anyone on the business end of Nighthawk's sword is of interest to me these days. It's not like them to send multiple assassins unless the target is considered a danger to the guild. But I'm a merchant. Don't know anything about the Guild of Assassins. You wouldn't necessarily have to know anything about them. You might have witnessed something they preferred unseen. Perhaps they think you've wronged them in some way. Where were you the night the King's men from Boss Tyra Regiment were assassinated? What? I heard. Gods, they were good men. If it hadn't been for them, we would never have broken the Riverpuller's siege at Romney. How did they die? Nighthawks set upon them in the Black Sheep Tavern, killed every last man. The only thing I found strange was the fact there were a few signs of resistance. I was told by the boy who tends the bar of a few casks of Keshian ale were delivered the night before, but the Boss Tyra men are very disciplined men. Does it seem reasonable to you a detachment of men trailing the Nighthawks would get drunk in a town where they were suspect of the Guild of Assassins have their headquarters? Does sound a bit odd. Sounded to me odd to me as well, so I decided the ale had been tainted in some way. I thought if I found the man who'd sent the ale, I might be on the trail of the Nighthawks. Then I visited the tavern here in town and discovered something very disturbing. The arrangements for the ale delivery were made here, and the keeper was instructed to add a significant amount of tarweed to the mixture. A mixture that, while not poisonous, induces the drinker to become excessively thirsty, ensuring that he will continue to drink until quite drunk. But that was not the shocking information. You see, it seems the local chief reeve of a prestigious guild arranged for the delivery of the ale. Mitchell Waitlander. I never made that order. I would have been in Romney when the arrangement was made. I couldn't have made that order. I realize that as well. The Nighthawks have gone to extreme troubles to implicate you, and that tells me they want revenge for something. The men that were sent here to kill you would undoubtedly have planted the final evidence on your corpse. So what could you have done to them? Truly, I don't know. Do you know anything about a silver spider or a brass spyglass? A brass spyglass? Oh, dear gods. But that man couldn't have been a Nighthawk. He was so regal looking. What did you do to this man? Is the spyglass involved? There's a place north of Romney, known as Prankstone. When people approach it, they often discover that items on their person disappear. A business partner and I discovered where the disappeared items go to, and we sell the items we find. Anyway, One night I was drinking in town, it was the same name, and I saw this man who had a very marvelous brass spyglass. My guild was having difficulties at the time, and I was low on cash, so I conspired to achieve the spyglass for my own. I had noticed the attention he was paying to a rather fetching barmaid, and I arranged that a note was sent to his table telling him to meet her near Prank Stone. The spyglass became ours. If the man you snatched the spyglass from learned what happened, I could see how he'd want revenge. Where did you sell it? I don't sell items. My partner does, and we split the profits. I don't know anything about him other than the fact that he is a native of Sidlin. We decided early on that we would share our booty so that if one of us was caught, the other would be safe. Then it seems we have business in Silden. Lay low. It may be the only thing that keeps you alive, Mitchell. The Nighthawks are not men that should be angered. Alright, I guess we're going back to Silden. That is down to the south. Alright, let's head south. Definitely like the graphics setup better. Engine is running much smoother. Silden is all the way south. There must be a bad guy left. What are the chances of my shit still being in there? Oh, well this is in there. My missive. Which one is this that I dropped? Given to Asunitus of Cavil Keep the quantity of 500 rubies and 200 golden sovereigns, totaling a value not in excess of 20,000 and 200 sovereigns. It's a lot of money. James smelled fish. He thought of his ex-wife. Looks like the road will take us into town, Silden, he said. Should we go in for supplies? Of course. I am in need of rations. No rations, just this bullshit. James motioned the figure across the room.
On, Consi.
As the keeper of a tavern, I imagine you get quite a bit of traffic through here. Lots of people wanting to buy or sell items that were, shall we say, indiscriminately acquired. Who would I speak to if my interest lay in that direction? Any that walks the streets. Silden is not known for its reputable patronage, as you no doubt have seen. Why would this interest you? I need to find out about possible purchase of 2 very special items that might have been picked up here in Silden. I'm looking for whoever might have sold them. If an item is sold in Silden, then I am the only man that you should speak to. Any other transactions are done the Silden way. Very well, Joffitz. Is that Joftaz? Joftaz. I need to find out what you may know about either a brass spyglass or a silver spider. I would be willing to pay gold. You will pay most undoubtedly for that information, but I am not interested in your kingdom coins. If it were gold, I could come up with the sum I want myself. No, what I require is assistance of a thief. And why do you think I'd be of any help? I live in a city of thieves. I have spent my life knowing how to sense them, and I know most assuredly that you have thieves' instincts. This is the bargain. I will tell you about the silver spiders that I sell on occasion, and you will find a bag of powder that was stolen by the crawler. It has most likely been taken to his house near here. The house is locked, and I suspect that the pouch will be hidden away in a chest or a cabinet or such. Any thief could do this for you. Why would we be especially qualified for this? Because all the thieves in this place, they are all the hands and eyes of the crawler. To be working for me, that would be death for them. Why? What is that in the powder bag? I have made my offer. The information for the pouch. To have a deal. My bumper trouble is telling me that I shouldn't be agreeing to this, but you have a deal, Jove Tots. I'll get your pouch, a straight exchange, the information for the item. Consider it a deal, then. I will wait for you here in Anchorhead until you return with the item. We will be back. Do not leave this place. Actually. Really? You're selling shitty food? Fuck you. Karoth watched the docks. Behind him, James stood with an ear pressed against the door of the house, listening for the stirring of Krondor or his men, but heard only the thumping of his own heart. The door was locked, and as he reached his pack to search for his keys and picklocks, he saw a very small, very straight crack in the trim beside the door. Smiling at the old Mocker's trick, he pressed his thumb against the trim and pushed down. The wood slid away, revealing a small brass key. Removing it from its hiding place, he jammed it in the brass lock, whispering his thanks to the old Mocker, who had first taught him the trick. Within the house was dim, but not so dark that James couldn't navigate by instinct alone. Creeping, he investigated the whole of the three-room house, noting anything that looked out of ordinary. Near the fireplace, he discovered something that appeared to be a chest, but dismissed it as suspect. As sus. Its location tagging it as a trap for less clever thieves. On the far wall, he eyed a row of 5 colorfully lacquered pots, each spilling over with a tangle of violet-colored tondulorns. Many times in Krondor he had heard the Princess Anita lamenting over the fact the flowers were nearly impossible to grow in the salty soil of the coastal regions and required nearly constant sunlight. Located as they were at the rear of the house, however, they would undoubtedly receive very little light at all. Smiling, he upturned each of the pots until at last he discovered the hidden powder bag and made a mental note to thank the princess for her relentless efforts to civilize him. Clutching his find triumphantly, he hurried outside to rejoin his very nervous-looking traveling companions. Jimmy the Hand was still alive and well. So the Honorable Seigneur from Krondor returns. Have you brought along the pouch I asked you for? It seems that today Benath has smiled on us both. I have what you want, and you apparently know what I need to know. The pouch in exchange for the story. That was the deal. I want to hear a story about a silver fucking spider. Yes, Benath has gifted you most certainly. I wouldn't have thought anyone wily enough to defeat the crawler. But if the happy prankster was giving you a knack, then I'll happily help you as best as I can. Now, the silver spider is a rare item, so I remember when I get one, and am most assuredly pleased when I can turn a profit from it. They are heartily sought here in the kingdom. It's been several months since I last sold one. Can you describe the last man who bought one? Oh, aye, I can describe him. Stooped back, crass, hard-bartering fellow. He was wearing a black cloak and a bird. An eagle was blazed across his chest. You mean a hawk, a golden hawk? I have lived the greater part of my days here in Silden. It might have been a hawk, or it could have been a gull. All I know is that I lost a great deal that day between he and the trader named Abuk, who brought in some sailor's trinkets he appropriated from Prank's stone. As for the man with the bird on his chest, the last I heard of him, he was asking to purchase a ticket on a ship called the Mocker's Folly, bound for Krondor. A Nighthawk, bound for Krondor? Where could I find the ship's captain? Krondor, I suspect, though I don't see why that would be important to you. I will decide what is important or unimportant. Now, what about the brass spyglass? Would you know anything about it? As I told you before, sailors' trinkets are common here in Silden. If it is the special glass you covet, I would urge you to seek out the trader, Abuk. I can only hope I could hope only to make 5, perhaps 10 gold sovereigns from such an item, so I decided they were not really worth my time bothering with. You may find that bothering with silver spiders has cost you more than imagined, Joftas. If I find that any of the prince's family have died of poisoning when I return there, you'll have a great deal more to worry about than turning a profit. James shouted at the ship, appearing. At the railing of the ship, a golden-haired man waved them down. Unless one of you are in need of a trip to the priestess of the Isles of Yortis, I can't help you. I've got to get the mist over ready for sailing out within the week. Is one of you critically ill? No, but... James sputtered, but was cut off by the first mate. We're not allowed to use the boat yet. A lot of reading in this vid. Fuck, I gotta go back and talk to Abuk. Fuck me running. We need rest. Yes, no. To fork one over. Wait a minute. Abuk is... Yeah, no, Abuk is back south. Son of a bitch. He's over here to the west. Where we started.
I am Abuk.
I am Abuk.
Locks.
Abuk, master of locks at your service. How may I be of assistance? It appears you're the master of more than locks. What do you know of the Prankstone north of Romney? A tongue wags loose in Sildon. I see my enterprises may be silenced. I'm interested only in a brass spyglass that you sold to Joftas in Sildon. Tell me about it, and I will choose to forget about any other thefts you may have participated in. How did you come by it? A year and 20 ago, I bought a box in Sildon from a trader. He told me it would bring me great fortune, but I wished only for a strong chest to hold my things, and I told him that I would be a fool to sell such a box. We haggled, and at last I purchased it for 10 sovereigns, a price that the seller seemed positively glad to receive. I, too, was pleased with the exchange, but began to wonder at the nature of what I had purchased. The chest was possessed of Kajunyo. Kajunlo? The fuck does that mean? It is a box of trickery of magic. Objects would appear in the box, things that I had not placed there. Then one day I met a man from Romney, and he told me of the true nature of my chest. When things were lost in a certain place, they came to my box and we could sell those items. We decided, of course, that we would never tell each other more about ourselves so that our business would be safe, should one of us fall into harm. And the two of you would split the profits of whatever appeared in the box. I take it that the brass spyglass was one of the items he arranged for you to find. It was one of many things. The day you got the spyglass, did anything else appear in your box? A few things. I keep those things whose value I do not know. So those items which arrived with the spyglass are still there as well. I believe that there was a note whose contents I do not remember. Where is this box? Is it close by? It lies behind a mountain with 2 other boxes near Sildon, and is locked with a special lock. You will have to spell out Thorn so that it may be opened. If you do not understand what I speak, you shall when you find the box. Thorn, we will remember your kindness. Thank you. I'm pretty sure I already opened that. Sorry about that. Doing a little bit of research. Now Lord Lighton doesn't want to have anything to do with me. Well, we need to go back to this starting area to Tyr Sog to do the other side quest that I want to do, and that's going to be quite the trip, so I think we're going to have to cough up some gold and finally teleport with the temple. But we also want to head to Prank Stone to keep this moving, so there should be a temple on the way there. We'll go hit that, and then we can teleport back and finish up with Chapter 3. We got into a fight with these shitheads. Another 4 of them? Jesus. Immediately put Skin a Dragon. On your dudes. And they're all out of reach. If you keep missing, we're gonna die. Well, that spell pretty much saves your ass. I can only imagine it was made for this. Definitely works good against magic. Steel fire! Light up the night with steel fire! Steel fire! Sink it to the ground, bitch. God damn, would you stop missing? I'll probably miss if I shoot that far. You son of a bitch, this thing is scared. Fooled you!
The party's abilities have increased. Time to take a fucking nap.
A fucking ping pong ball. Boing, boing, boing. This is Trek. Well, we got into a battle. Time for some Skyfire. Drop them. You ain't hitting shit, brother. Elvin Quells. I guess I should start using my crossbow when the enemy is out of reach physically. You know, might help. Time to do an item check, too. Damn right. Oh, well, no wonder you're missing. Yeah, better now. All right, everyone's feeling groovy again. All right, back to Romney. Corvallis Estates in Caval Keep. Assuming we are heading this way, we are going that direction, aren't we? Well, yes, we are. Owen talked as they traveled, pointing out familiar geographical features. He related a good deal of history about the region's history. Okay, that's weird. As they attempted to ford a small river. Soon they found themselves back upon a major road. Walked right on by Romney. James swallowed hard. He was getting attacked by 3 of these pusses. Bye-bye. What? I said bye-bye. How dare you smack Owen? Look here, dickhead. That was just rude. Fucking laying this guy down to sleep. Beating up on poor Master Owen. You got 8 potions, you got 8, and you have 5. We need to get some more rations here soon. We're not going to be healing. That thing's been buried under the dirt. The hole's not big enough to put a man in, so it's safe to assume that it isn't a grave, James said. Might be a secret cache of food or supplies. Fix that crossbow up. There's trouble ahead. Unable to pinpoint the source of his anxiety immediately, James motioned for a halt. Beware, you may have wandered into a trap. Oh, we most certainly did. I don't even understand this one-dimensionally. Don't you have to cross between these things? I'm actually gonna put the shield on him in case I fail. Still trying to do it correctly. Is that up one more, I guess? Yeah, and that blows that up. That should be it. Heal up, Owen. Ow! Did I put the wrong armor on him, or did it just wear off? I didn't notice. That's all right, you live. This right here gets beat up quickly. Wow, that looks interesting. Crossing the bridge. Oh, hello. I can't sneak up on these jokesters. Can we be of some assistance to your fellows? You appear distressed. Distressed? Away. We are distressed in the extreme. There's that terrible mess down in Romney, and we are heading down to lend a hand to the River Pullers Guild. What of you? You siding with Mitchell and that bloody Glazers Guild? No. Then you must support Ian. No. Men without commitments, eh? Well, better liars than one of the rabble running Romney at the moment. But I warn you, you best steer clear of all that mess. All right. We got out of a little fight there. Got to use our diplomacy once in a while. A smiling man answered the door. Come in, he said with a large grin. I have got something to show you. Curious, James followed the man into the house. He led them to a table upon which there was a bulky object of some kind covered with a cloth. With great flourish, the man pulled away the cloth, revealing a strange metal machine with a funnel at the top and a wooden crank on the side. What is it? Asked Gorath. It's a gem converter. Currently, it will only convert rubies into emeralds, but I am working on a formula to convert rubies into diamonds. Say, perhaps you can help me test it. Would you like to give it a try? I'm afraid we don't have any rubies. We sold them all for the gold pieces. The man looked at them thoughtfully for a second, then said with a smile, No matter. You seem like decent, honest fellows. When you get some rubies, you can come back to me, and I'll let you convert them anyways. How does that sound? They thanked him for his generosity and left. As long as emeralds sell for more, I'm cool. And here's the tavern. Owen played and made 94 sovereigns. We love rations. Fuck you, tavern keeper. The man was in a talkative mood, taking drinks from an overly large cup of ale between tales about his mercenaries. He wandered eventually into a discourse about how he hated the followers of the god Kahuli. Why do you dislike them so much? James asked, raising a single eyebrow at that. The man shook his head. Those damn Kahuli priests in the temple up the Kenting Rush aren't natural, I tell you. What pleasures a man's got, they want him to give it up. All tied up in those damnable codes of piety. What in tis name does the mortification of flesh mean anyways, but some sorry sod's got to starve himself down to tooth and bone, and give up wenching and drinking? Not natural at all, if you ask me. The man scowled, apparently far more intent with something going on across the common room. He seemed uninterested in James' repeated attempts to chat. At last he glanced up and gave an exasperated sigh. What exactly do you want? Just a little friendly talk, James said, with a companionable smile. Go find a bloody jongleur. Then leave me be. I've got better things to do than entertain every jackabout that comes through that door. The woman stared at James. Unnerved by the intensity of the woman's gaze, he sought someone else in the tavern to speak to. But when he turned again, he found she was still looking at him, her thin hands gripped tightly around a cloth-wrapped bundle in her lap. Do I know you, miss? James asked. You seem troubled. This was to be given to you, she said, her voice breaking as she handed over a package. I was instructed to bring it here. Instructed? James unwrapped the bundle and discovered that a single torch was within. Baffled by the strange present, he peered hard at her, but she had pointed her gaze at the floorboards beneath her feet. Lifting her chin delicately, he saw that someone had struck across her face. Who did this to you and why? I do not know, she replied, her voice small in the clatter of pans and pots which came from the kitchen. All I know is that I was to bring this to the tavern and give it over to the one who looked as you do. Nobody home. A balding man with an intense gaze answered James' knock. Are you looking to stay in Prankstone for a while? He wondered. Do I have a house for you? Only 30 sovereigns a month. Yeah, no, unfortunately I can't rent a house, but if I could, and then store all my stuff in there, I'd be very happy. The slab made Owen uncomfortable. Still, he stepped closer to the strange rock to examine it more closely. This is a very unusual stone. It seems to be emitting a very strange energy, but I can't make out its nature. Yes, we're going to touch it. Owen stepped forward and touched the strange stone. Though there was not an actual explosion, they all heard a loud bang as his fingers touched the rocky surface. The sound startled them all, but it had the greatest effect on Owen, who was momentarily convinced it was the sound of the death goddess knocking on his door. It took them several minutes to realize the humor of the situation, but soon all were laughing as they picked up their packs and prepared to leave. The stone had apparently been harmless. Still, it worried Gorath and made him wonder if they had lost anything else besides their wits. I don't know, did you steal my stuff? Pranks? Is it a prank stone? No one lives there either. Fuck me running. Gorath was about to knock on the door when he heard the shrill voice of a woman calling for help. No one can help you now, boomed a raucous male voice. The goddess of death will. Before another word could be uttered, Gorath took several steps back and charged at the door, hitting it with his shoulder. The door gave way with a splintered crack. The force of the impact caused him to lose his balance, but he quickly regained it. Drawing his sword as quickly as he surveyed the room, he found himself eye to eye with a half-dressed man wearing a wig. There was no one else in the room. What did you do with her? Gorath demanded. The man sputtered a reply, still trying to catch his breath. What, who, huh? What'd I do with whom? The woman we heard. A woman yelling for help. What'd you do with her? Gorath repeated, more with bewilderment than anger this time. I haven't done anything with anyone. I'm an actor. I'm just preparing for a play I'll be performing tonight at the Flying Snow. Gorath swallowed hard. A play? He asked weakly. We thought. Oh, sorry about the door. I'll give you 25 sovereigns or whatever we have left. That should cover it. The man was still shaking his head when they left. Did you just cost me 25 sovereigns? Damn it, Gorath. Koltari poison we can Apply to food and drinks. Might need to do that for a questicle. Get a fire sword with this stuff. Could be useful. Expensive. We got this stuff to counteract. Oh, you pissed him off. Normally you can only haggle him once. We got the money. Restoratives for 50 gold. Oh, hello there. The language of men can be mastered, but what kingdom word is always pronounced wrong? Wrong? Of course! Some fire arrows. Gorath scan to the ruins. Names give power magic to control, but what is broken by naming it? Names give power. Magic to control. This is a good one. Hang on. Silent. If you name silence, you have broken it by naming it. God damn, I'm good. Oh, hello there. Not surprised. That's some bullshit. Haha, you missed.
Missed again.
Dickhead. Potio noxum. The fluid with the flask was a clotted mass, tinged with a phlegmy color. That that looked neither healthy nor appealing. And if the scent of the cork was anything familiar, anything similar to the actual aroma of the concoction within, he had no desire to open the bottle yet. I guess this is some kind of poison? Like a noxious potion that we can throw maybe in battle? I'm not sure. Go back and check those graves. Where's the good shit? Oh wait, we're out of shovels. Son of a bitch. I sacrificed him, I think, to carry that goddamn armor. Alright, I'll have to come dig up here later. Nothing really spectacular, I don't think. Never really is in those. Hey! We can get 3 chances. We need to detect magic. The chest, give me a moment. It's trapped. The trap was deactivated. James breathed a sigh of relief and gently lifted the lid of the box. Booyah! We're good on both those. They were stopped by 2 men. You go no further, one of the men commanded. Before any shall enter the temple of Banath, they must strip off all metals. James scowled. Under whose authority do you make these demands? We are representatives of Prince Arutha, and order you to let us pass. The men seemed taken aback by this news, but as they departed, they continued to speak of their levy. Metal is base and offensive to our god. He who enters this temple with metal on his person shall be struck dead. From the other side of the temple, almost out of earshot, James heard, By the well of Banath! Alright, well, if you think I'm taking all this shit off, you're crazy. Incense swirled, striding between the columns of the temple. James made for the heavy wooden doors which had been sealed against the daylight and which preserved the privacy of any ceremonies in progress. Pulling a taut rope which hung next to the door, he awaited the response of the warden. And they let me in, bitch! Alright, it's a good time for us to teleport now that we can get back here. I mean, shit, I'm not even that far. This is kind of the same distance at this point. We need to get up here by Tir Sagath. If I just keep going north, which we're headed this way anyways, I might just see what happens here. Yeah, what are you going to do about it? I just went in your temple with all my metal on. The fuck is... Oh, that's my secret trap thingy. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, folks. We'll see you next time for more Betrayal at Krondor!